I got a herniated disc from yoga. I had been practicing yoga for more than 25 years. I was teaching it every single day. And my own yoga practice herniated a disc in my lower back and put me in a surgeon's office facing down a spinal fusion surgery. And what the worst part was, I was doing everything I had been taught to do. In the next few minutes, I'm going to tell you exactly what happened, and more importantly, what I discovered that fixed it. Because it completely changed how I understand my body, and it changed everything about how I teach yoga. I'm Yogi Aaron, and the yoga truth is this. Yoga is one of the most powerful practices on the planet. But the way that most of it's being taught right now is causing real harm to real people. And I know that because it happened to me. I've been teaching yoga for more than 30 years. I've trained under some of the most respected teachers in the world. And for most of those 30 years, I was teaching people to stretch because that's what I was taught. And that's what everyone is taught, until my own body showed me that stretching was the problem. In 2017, I started dealing with significant pain in my lower back. And my immediate response, because this is what every yoga teacher does, was to stretch it out. More forward folds, more pigeon pose, more child's pose, longer holds, deeper into the poses. And for a few minutes after each practice, I'd find relief. That tension would ease. I'd think, okay, it's working. And then within 30 minutes, sometimes less, the pain would come roaring back, worse than before. So I kept stretching, and the pain kept returning, until one morning I couldn't walk properly. My doctor sent me to an orthopedic surgeon. The MRI confirmed what I feared, a herniated disc pressing on the nerves in my lower back, compressing the sciatic nerve, causing radiating pain down my leg. His recommendation, spinal fusion surgery. I was sitting in that surgeon's office at 45 years old, having practiced yoga almost every single day of my adult life. And he was telling me I needed my vertebrae permanently fused together just to function normally. And I remember thinking, if yoga did this to me, something is fundamentally broken in how I've been practicing it and how I've been teaching it. I declined the surgery. I got steroid injections to manage the inflammation. And the moment I could travel, I flew across the country to see a muscle specialist named Eric Stiebel, a therapist trained in something called muscle activation technique. Eric worked on me for 8 consecutive days, and what he showed me in those 8 days changed everything I thought I knew about the human body. He wasn't stretching me. He wasn't trying to create more flexibility or more range of motion. He was doing something completely different. He was testing which muscles had lost their neurological connection and started to reactivate them. Here's the principles. Every muscle in your body receives a signal from your nervous system, your brain, a signal that tells it to contract, to engage, to stabilize the joints around it, and protect the structure it's meant to support. And when that signal gets disrupted through injury, through chronic stress, or through passive overstretching, the muscle goes quiet. It stops doing its job, and the body compensates. Other structures take on the load they weren't designed for. And that's where pain comes from. My herniated disc wasn't caused by a single injury. It was caused by years of passively overstretching the muscles that were supposed to be supporting and protecting the spine, until those muscles stopped working properly and my spine became vulnerable. After 8 days with Eric, I avoided surgery. I went home to Costa Rica pain-free for the first time in years. And I had one burning question. How had I spent more than 25 years practicing and teaching yoga without understanding any of this? I went deep into the research. I got certified in muscle activation technique, and I started applying everything I was learning to yoga, to the specific poses I had been teaching, to the way I cued movement, to the way I understood the relationship between flexibility and strength. And the correlations were undeniable. Almost every passive stretch-based yoga pose I had been teaching was doing exactly what stretching had done to my spine, temporarily inhibiting the muscles that were supposed to be doing the work. Let me show you something. This is your spine. Everything in your body, every movement, every load, every force passes through here. And the spine is stabilized by muscles, deep muscles that are connecting to each of these joints. The multifidus, the spinal erector, semispinalis thoracis, longissimus, deep rotators. And when those muscles are working, the spine is protected. But when they go quiet, the spine is exposed. And what I discovered is that passive stretching, the long-held gravity-assisted poses that make up the majority of most yoga classes, neurologically inhibit these stabilizing muscles. It doesn't strengthen them. It doesn't activate them. It tells them to stand down. And what activates them is the opposite of stretching. It's contraction. It's asking the muscles to do its job, to generate force, to engage, to stabilize, and then building that capacity over time. I call this approach AYAMA, Applied Yoga Anatomy and Muscle Activation. It's a practice of turning the right muscles on before you ask your body to move. Stabilize before stretch. Activation before extension. Function before flexibility. Once you understand this, you can't unsee it. Every yoga pose becomes a question. Am I activating or am I shutting down? This is what I now teach at my immersion at Blue Osa in Costa Rica, a 14-day yoga teacher training built around AYAMA. And what I find consistently with every person who comes through is that about 80% of what we cover was never taught in their previous trainings. Not because their teachers were bad, but because the standard 200-hour yoga teacher training doesn't go here. It doesn't ask why a herniated disc happens. It doesn't teach what passive stretching actually does to muscles that support the spine. And it doesn't give you the tools to understand what's happening in your students' bodies, or your own for that matter. When pain keeps coming back, no matter how much yoga you do. If you want to learn AYAMA in person in Costa Rica at Blue Osa, the link to the immersion is in the description below. And if you can't travel right now, we also have an online AYAMA course where you can start learning the method from wherever you are. The link is in the description too. Now I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me, have you been injured by yoga, or have you noticed that more you stretch, the tighter you seem to be getting? Tell me in the comments, because I read every single one. And if this is the kind of truth you've been looking for, hit that subscribe button, because there's a lot more coming. Now that you understand why stretching is shutting down your muscles, there is one pose that almost every yoga teacher prescribes every single class. Students do it for hip pain, for sciatica, for lower back relief, and it's making every single one of those problems worse. I'm talking about pigeon pose. And if you haven't seen that video yet, it's right here. Namaste, friends, and see you in the next video.